This is Tristan Souza, one of our D tackles here at the University of Buffalo, doing a full clean with 315 pounds. Now, we do a lot of Olympic lifting here at the University of Buffalo, and I am a big believer in the Olympic lifts for developing strong and explosive athletes. But our guys don't start off doing full cleans straight out the gate. So in this video, I want to talk about how we progress our guys from the day they get here as a freshman and progress them to doing full cleans like Souza's doing here in the video. And so when our guys first get here, it's going to be usually around mid-June, right? And we're going to spend the first 2 weeks doing a lot of teaching, right? Guys are going to come in with all kinds of different lifting backgrounds. You're going to have some guys who may have been on the high school weightlifting team, and you may have other guys that literally their high school may have not even had a weight room period, right? So we're going to take all these guys in and we're going to start with the basics. We're going to teach everything from scratch to make sure that everyone knows how to do everything properly, because we'll never sacrifice weight for technique. So during those first 2 weeks, all right, when it comes to our clean progression, we're going to start off with the trap bar deadlift, and we're going to start front squatting. So with the trap bar deadlift, we can start teaching that bottom position, how to brace, how to get my shoulder blades tight, where my feet should be positioned, all right? All of those basics on how to get into a great bottom position, all right? And the reason I like to start with the trap bar is because a lot of times it's easier for guys to pick up, and it's also more forgiving from a mobility standpoint. So if they're struggling with the raised handles of the trap bar, struggling to get into position with the trap bar, then I know that we're gonna have to make modifications once we get to an actual barbell. And then we're gonna start front squatting. We're gonna start front squatting immediately right away, teaching the front rack position, how to front squat, because that's gonna play a pivotal role, right, in not only building lower body strength, but it's gonna help us down the line as we begin to catch the barbell. So we're gonna do that for the first 2 weeks. So after 2 weeks, we're gonna progress on to a deadlift with the barbell with a front squat as well, all right? Not a combination, all right, but we're gonna deadlift and we're gonna front squat. We'll do that for about 2 weeks. So now, with the deadlift, we're working that same body position, same start, and now we're working on that first pull with a barbell. But with the deadlift, we're under control, and we can teach with a slower movement, right, and continue to clean up technique, all right? So after those 2 weeks of doing a deadlift and continuing a front squat, we're gonna go 2 weeks of now turning that deadlift into a clean pull, all right? So now it's basically the exact same movement, but now we're gonna make it an explosive movement. We're gonna finish with that triple extension. We're gonna finish with a big shrug at the top, all right? But for the most part, the fundamentals of the deadlift doesn't change when we go to a clean pull. It is now just more speed and now more of an emphasis on that explosive aspect of the movement, all right? And we're gonna continue to front squat. So by this point in time, we have 6 weeks of front squat under our belt, all right? So we should be getting to where we're very efficient and very comfortable in that front squat position, and should be starting to move a little bit more weight now by that point in time. After these first 6 weeks, that's gonna basically lead us into camp, right? So these 4 weeks right here are going to be camp. And because of schedule restrictions, we try to assimilate the freshmen into the main group, into the team, right? Because these first 6 weeks, they're gonna be in a completely different lift group, and they're gonna be under a completely different lift. So we're gonna try to bring them into the fold here during camp, all right, just because of scheduling. It makes it hard to have a lot of things separate with practice and meetings and everything of that nature, right? So now we're gonna be doing just clean pulls, right? Because during camp, we're not gonna front squat. We're not gonna be catching with the team in general. We're not gonna be catching anything because I don't want that extra wear and tear on the wrist, all right? So there'll be clean pulls through these 4 weeks, all right? Now, as we come out of the back end of camp, that's when we'll sit down as a staff and we'll figure out, all right, who is gonna be in the 2 deep, all right? Some guys may come in right away and they're right into the starting lineup, right into the 2 deep, all right? Who's gonna be a special teams guy and who's gonna be potentially in that redshirt program, okay? So with those redshirt guys, okay, the next 4 weeks, we're gonna introduce our first catch, which is gonna be a hang muscle clean, all right? So I'm coming from the hang position, all right? And if you've done any muscle cleans or muscle snatches before, all right, you know that I'm not shifting and dropping into the bar. I'm not shifting and catching, all right? I am going through the initial phase of a clean, all right? I'm going through the hinge, brace, tight, and then I'm extending and I'm catching the bar, all right? Catching the bar, really just rotating under the bar up tall, all right? So we've repped that front squat position for a month and a half, right? So we should still be pretty good at getting into that front rack position, right? But a hang muscle clean takes some of the components out. I don't have to worry about shifting. I don't have to worry about re-dropping my hips, right? I can just get into a good position, finish up tall, finish fully extended, and I can start working on whipping my elbows through and finishing in that catch position, all right? We'll still continue to clean pull during this time, right? So we're getting more reps of pulling the ball from the ground, that bottom position, all those technical things that we need to keep continuing to reinforce. And we're gonna reintroduce front squat with those guys as well, with those redshirt guys, right? So that'll be for about 4 weeks right there. That'll take us through September. The next 4 weeks, we're now gonna introduce a power clean, all right? So by the time that they've been introduced to a power clean, all right, we've got 6 weeks here. We've got another 4 weeks of doing pulls from the floor. And we've got another 4 weeks of working that catch, working the elbows through, another 4 weeks of the bottom position, and another 4 weeks of working that front squat. And these aren't just wasted weeks where it's just technique and it's just technique, okay? All this front squatting, okay, we're going to get strong from all the front squatting that we're doing. All the pulls that we're doing from the floor, we're going to get strong. We're going to build strength. We're going to build explosiveness, all right? So it's not just, okay, well, this 10 minutes is just a technique and we're not really developing during that time, all right? By progressing in this manner, we're able to continue to progress our technique to more complex, starting from simple, working more and more complex, but we're also developing strength. We're also developing power as we progress down the board, okay? So we're gonna introduce power clean for the first time here for these 4 weeks, okay? Again, we'll continue to do pulls, we'll continue to front squat, all right? Then for 2 weeks, all right, we're gonna turn it into a power clean plus a front squat, all right? So I'm gonna finish in that quarter squat power clean position, all right? And then at first, if I need to stand back up tall, reset my feet, and then drop into a front squat, that's okay, all right? But as we're gonna start to encourage, all right, to catch in that front squat position, all right, and just continue to drop right into the front squat, all right? And most guys are gonna figure out really fast, okay, well, instead of catching here, standing up tall and going back down again, well, it's just way easier if I just catch it and just continue to drop into that front squat, all right? So we'll kind of work slowly into that idea, into that concept of catching and then finishing and dropping into a squat, all right? And we'll do that for 2 weeks, all right? And then these 2 weeks right here is when we're going to introduce that actual full clean. So now we are going to catch, we are going to drop right into the squat, all right? And we'll kind of take it as a case-by-case basis, guy by guy, all right? As they continue to get more and more comfortable with it, all right? They can start to catch the bar lower, start to catch the bar lower, start to catch the bar lower, all right? But that's basically how we take our freshmen from the moment they arrive in June and progress them all the way. By the end of the fall, they're working into full cleans.